All right, I am here with Justin. The
Hey.
first episode of the nursing experience is what I'm going to call this.
Okay.
What do you think?
I like it. I'm excited.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, so if we can start by introducing yourself.
Okay.
So, who you are, you're in the nursing program, of course.
Yeah, fortunately.
Yeah, but if you introduce yourself, which year, which program, and why you chose to become a nurse.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, my name's Justin Brannon. I am a first semester nursing student. I'm in the ASN program, which is the Associate's Nursing. Um, I don't have a cool story as to why I chose nursing.
Okay.
Some people say they had a nurse or a doctor impact them in some way, and so they thought, man, that would be awesome. But really, I had family members who, my dad was a paramedic and firefighter, and he, come home and tell us all of his horror stories, if you will, all of his calls and stuff. And my sister, she's an RN now in the ER, and I'm kind of following in her footsteps. Let me backtrack. Science and everything, dealing with the human body, that kind of interested me,
Okay.
especially at a young age. I never really, I didn't really pick nursing until maybe middle of high school.
Okay.
I remember in 7th grade, I had to write a little paper in my typing class. What we saw, like where do we see ourselves in 15 years? And I said I wanted to be a physician's assistant.
Okay.
Not really knowing what a physician assistant was, but I knew it was a doctor, but not really a doctor, But as I, got older, I realized, maybe nursing's a smart route. But and typically nursing pays pretty well, I reckon. So
That's what I've heard.
yeah, so and you can do a lot of things with nursing. I would love to travel at
Mhm.
some point. But hey, some things may change.
So, well, let's start off by saying shout out to you because we were supposed to be 3 people here. No, 4 people in total with
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
and then 2 had to drop out, and that's fine. That's life,
Yeah, it happens.
Things happen all the time. So, no hard feelings at all. But a big shout out to you for being here,
Appreciate it.
and we really appreciate it. I really appreciate it for taking your time. So let's dig into what you said
Okay.
a little bit because my goal with this podcast is to try to prepare future students who want to get into nursing,
Okay.
but also show different perspectives.
Sure.
So one thing that, and you probably can agree, when you talk to a lot of nurses, you often hear, "Oh, this is my life's mission. I've always dreamt of becoming a nurse. This is my life. I can't see myself doing anything else."
Mm.
I think it's pretty cool that you said, "I have really no idea why I want to do this, but it
Yeah.
pays well."
Yeah.
And something else that people often talk about is you shouldn't go into healthcare, so nursing, being a doctor for the pay.
Right.
I don't think there is a problem as long as you actually do your job.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. There's certain aspects of nursing that you have to. I feel like you either have it or you don't. Some people. I think to be a nurse, you have to have that sympathy and empathy. You've got to have that. You want to care for somebody. You got to have that heart, I guess. But I agree. Don't just go into it for the money, because the money may be good, but you may hate it, or you may hate the aspect of whatever it is.
Yes.
So.
I mean, you have a lot of positions. You have a lot of. We live in a world full of opportunities today, so you can make money doing anything.
Oh, for sure.
You can make money talking about Legos if you want. You couldn't do that 20 years ago. So the opportunities are endless. But when it comes to nursing, you're a guy, and it's a little bit different for us guys, I would assume.
Yeah.
I can share some of my experiences. Is that I have a lot of female students applying, and I wouldn't say they're freak out, if that's the correct term here to use, but they tend to make a big deal out of everything. So the T's, they have to do the
Oh,
T's to get into the exam,
Yeah.
the tests,
Yeah.
everything. And from my perspective, I'm a bit older than most students on this campus,
Yeah.
so I have a different perspective. But have you experienced anything like this in your class? Since you're in the ASN,
Yeah.
ASN is easier to go into than BSN, but it's still
Sure.
it's still tough competition.
Yeah, it's still nursing. Yeah. I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah. So to answer your question, 100%.
Okay.
And 100%. And I'm trying to think what today is. Today's Thursday. So Tuesday, I'll give you an example. Tuesday, in my cohort, there's 6 guys.
Okay.
6 guys out of 53 students.
Okay. Just pause it for a second
Okay.
for people who don't know what's a cohort.
Okay, a cohort is basically like your class. So in nursing, you go through your semesters with a group of people. So in my cohort or group of people, there's 50. I think there's 53 of us, and we all go together through each class, and we graduate all at the same time.
Okay.
So it's basically like in high school, you have your graduating class of whatever.
Okay,
So it's basically that group
okay.
of people, that year, if you will. So Tuesday we had a checkoff, a lab checkoff. So in lab we learned how to do medication administration and pulling up medicine and syringes, keeping sterile technique. And each person you have to sign up for a time slot.
Okay.
So it starts at 9 and it may end, I don't know, maybe, because there's you have group A, group B. So usually group A is the earlier people, because we have to split our classes or our lab into 2 groups since there's so many of us. But anyways, my time was 11:20. I didn't 10:20. I didn't go until about 11:40. Just because there was only 4 professors to check us off and to make sure we did everything right. And so while we're waiting, I mean, we're all in the hallway outside the lab waiting, and I'm beside my buddy Aiden. We're one of the few guys in the hallway, because not the other guys, they probably came later. So it's just me and him around all these women, and you see girls come out, they're crying or they're upset because they didn't pass, whatever. They can redo it. And then the girls around us, they start, oh my gosh, And so the girls that are coming out are talking to them what happened, what to expect. And so as they keep coming out and telling the girls in the hallway that we're with what's happening, they keep freaking out. They're like, oh my gosh, and they're getting more and more anxious. And me and Aiden are like, oh my gosh, dude, why are they freaking out?
Okay.
And so, but answer your question, yes. I mean, there's a lot of that. It's more, I don't want to say emotional, but I mean, as guys, you're not as emotional, I guess. Or if you have feelings, you kind of tend to keep them to yourself a little bit more, which I think is just the nature of how we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think there's there's nothing wrong with being emotional.
Oh, not
There's
at all.
nothing wrong. Women are usually the better nurses because they're better at caring than
Oh,
us.
for sure. They have that mother instinct.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it's, so I have 2 students right now that I'm in very, very close contact with, and we met in one of our classes. I think it was anatomy 1
Okay.
that we started with. And honestly, I mean, they've been keeping me in check. So they've been
Yes.
keeping me in check because of the grades and everything. So it is very good to have that balance, I would say, where you have someone who's very, very calm. I would see myself as a very calm person,
Yeah.
but also someone who, I wouldn't say, no, I don't want to use that word. I was going to say hysterical, but I'm not going to use that word. I would say who's more, let's say, compassionate.
Sure. Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes as a guy going into nursing, I feel, and I think this is due to my age, I often think, you know what, if this doesn't happen, if I don't get in, you did your best, you can move on with your life, or you could try to find another opportunity. So I try to always have things, like have my options open in the sense of I don't put all my eggs in one basket because if it doesn't work out, I need a plan B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So really, shout out to all the females who are in the nursing program
Sure.
and getting in and getting A's because I've heard it's super, super hard. So a
Oh,
major
yeah.
shout out to all women
Yes.
who are in the nursing program. And we actually need them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we need them because they study. Okay, so there's this theory that basically says in a classroom, you will see most women write down notes while most guys will just sit and listen because they don't take any notes. Is that true?
I can most okay.
At
So
least speak. Yeah, you can use your experience.
so
But
my experience I feel like the girls in my class, they take more notes, extensive, neat. They got all the highlighters and all the pens and colors. And see, I take my notes prior to class, and this is a little tip. It's a little tip. Luckily, our professors post the PowerPoints, in advance to lecture. So I have my iPad, and I'll skim through the PowerPoints and I'll write my notes, whatever's important. And then I go to class, and if the professor says something in addition to whatever's on the slides, I'll write that down, and I do it prior so I can listen more. I can say like my buddy Aiden, he writes notes, but it's not everything. It's just kind of like he'll scribble something down here and there, and then he's drawing a cactus or something on his paper. But you look around the room and you see all these other women, and I mean they're like into it. They printed out the
Yes.
PowerPoints, and they're writing on it, and they have all their colors and highlighters and pens and pencils and whatnot. So
that's that's why I said we need the variety
yeah,
because it's crazy. Every time I've asked a girl for notes in any class, man, it's like you said, color coded.
yeah.
Some people even have those small paper strips.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
you just
Yeah.
you could just open up a certain color means certain something.
They have like a little key of like what color is what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And every single time I've asked for notes, you see them perfectly designed. It's like you're looking at a canvas.
Yeah.
Who that they have worked really, really hard
Yeah.
making. Well, if you look at mine, you see a tree that's about to fall over,
Yeah.
with a little bit of text next to it. And
Yeah.
for the average reader, they have no idea what I'm writing.
No.
But I know, myself that, what is it called? I know myself that if I read this, I will understand because I am the actual person who
Who produced
who's
that?
going through
Yeah.
the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's funny that we have the same experience because it's man, I mean, it's fun
It's
to see.
interesting.
It's
It
very
is.
very fun to see, and
It
it's
is.
very interesting to see how different people think
Yeah.
and how they what you call it, how they function.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's some people don't have to take notes at all, and they're able to get by and do great.
True.
And there's some people that, and I feel like I'm one of those people that have to settle down a little bit harder and kind of look into stuff a little bit more than others.
Mhm.
To fully grasp, what's being taught. What am I looking at? What am I learning? How do I apply it? Which is totally fine.
Here, just
Um,
a side note. I actually forgot to click the record button, which is why I had the backup plan. So
Okay.
this has been recording us. This is not, but now I've started it. So I'm just gonna clap once more so that we can get it synced up later on. So there we go.
Okay.
Okay, but everything that we have talked about so far has been recorded, so
Cool.
no problem.
Cool.
But yeah,
That's fine.
this is about life, huh? Yeah, you
Trial and
do-
error.
Exactly. This is the first episode. This is the first time I've actually used this commercially, if you
Okay.
want to say this. This pod roadcaster is what it's called. People
Okay.
use for interviews. But yeah, let's continue. So did you do your core years here?
Yes.
Okay. So comparing core years to nursing.
Okay.
Because I've heard, okay, this is gonna sound funny.
Okay.
But I have always imagined nursing as a battlefield. Yes.
Okay. No. So yeah, that is what I've thought too. And prior to being in it, I thought, oh my gosh, I thought my core classes were hard. Wait until the nursing classes start. Where the real, stuff that you're learning is like kicking your butt. And maybe because I'm only in my first semester, it's not as bad as people have made it out to be.
Okay.
I can say.
Could you elaborate a little
Yeah.
bit on
So
that?
I can say in my core classes, there are some of the especially anatomy 1. I struggled.
Yeah, don't get me started on that.
I struggled. I struggled. It was so hard. That class was so hard. And there was even like my first biology. I don't know why. My first biology class was hard. But then I go to, my microbiology, biology 2. All those was fine. But it I think the hardest part for me right now is the adjustment of this isn't core classes. This is really what you sign up for. You're taking the classes that go with your career of choice. So,
Okay, so let me, sorry for interrupting you, but let me toss this out here.
Okay.
So in core classes, often what we do here is we go into classes, and a lot of times we go into classes that we actually don't want to read about. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. So you take classes that are necessary for the nursing program, and then you take classes that have absolutely nothing to do with nursing.
Right.
And I think what happens there is that your brain knows, or you tell your brain that this is not as important as nursing.
Yeah.
So you start slacking a bit.
Yeah.
But I think that you also have the factor, and correct me if I'm wrong, where you're in a bunch, so you're in a class with 30 people, and those 30 people, I would say, this is not statistics, so don't quote me on that, but I would say about 50% of the class have no idea why they're there. You have 10 or 15% maybe that knows exactly what they want, and then the rest of the class are a little bit uncertain, or they're forced into college by their parents. So what happens is you're surrounded by a lot of people who don't really want to be there or don't know why they are there.
Okay.
And if you tie the theory of if you want to succeed, you need to surround yourself with successful people, or surround yourself with successful people, then what happens there is that you're not surrounded by those people. So you automatically become like them.
Yeah.
And lose a little bit of a purpose.
I agree.
Or lose your purpose, or you start forgetting of why am I here really?
Yes. So I agree 100% on that, because like you said, and I had, my math classes and other classes, there was, you had those few people that were brilliant. They were so good at this subject. They knew how to do it, what to do. They were great. And then you had some people that are like, okay, this is fine. I don't know. Why am I taking this class? Why am I taking I'm a nursing major. Why am I taking a history? World Civ, something like that. And that's a real life
Western Civ. That's an interesting class.
Yeah, Western Civ. Yeah. So and that was a real example for me. I was like, why am I taking this? But I can say it's different because with the nursing program, you have everybody in there, and they all want to do their best for the most part. And you kind of find a group of people. So I have a group of 6 of us, and we basically keep each other in check, and we stay on top of things, and we're all driven and dedicated to nursing.
But they all want to be there.
They all want to be there.
And that's the main difference.
Yes.
In nursing, what I've noticed is that when it's nursing, people want to be there.
Yes.
So it's I don't want to say do or die, but that is the best way I can put it for the nursing students. It's we're here, we're doing this.
Yeah.
We're surviving this. And then you have different levels. Some people want to aim for C's just to pass.
Just to get
Some
through.
people want to get A, and I was about to say get promoted, but they want to graduate with summa cum laude, and but I've always said to myself that C's get degrees, and if you pass the class, it's fine. If you get a C in a subject or a B, don't beat yourself over it.
No, not at all.
Because it's about how you are as a nurse.
Mhm.
Are you doing your absolute best
Oh,
as
yeah.
a nurse? Are you providing the best possible care you can to your patients? I think that matters more than if you get a C in pharmacology
Mhm.
or C. No, pharmacology is the only class. That's why I'm only taking that example. So if you get C in any other classes, but I think it's important to know that it's your work that matters
Mhm.
in the end
Yeah.
and not only your grades.
Yeah, I mean, your grades don't define you, and you can I've heard I work at a hospital, and I've had, nurses say, you know, they've had nursing students come by, and they may have been a C student, but they did so good in clinicals, and they were able to apply and, like, work with their hands really well within the hospital, and you may have some students that are all A's, they're brilliant, but bedside, they don't know how to, like, how to be personable, and you kinda you have to have a balance of both. You can't
Yes.
just be a genius and smart and not be able to, um, have that bedside,
Yeah.
caring aspect.
And I think that that's goes back to what we talked about earlier with the balance of you have overachievers and then
Mhm,
you have a
mhm,
combination of women and men and
mhm.
how they did act differently and
Yeah,
um see nursing differently.
yeah.
So let's continue on that warpath, or if you want to call it that,
Okay, warpath.
because yeah, because I went to college. uh I would say a few years back. The last time I was in college was 2012.
Okay.
If you can remember. I mean, it's wild.
I remember
That's
2012.
yeah.
I was young,
So
but I remember.
yeah, but 2012 was when I was in college, and
Okay.
I was in college. I wanted to become a chef,
Oh, cool, okay.
so I went into a college, and it was more theoretical than it was practical, and I couldn't do that. I'm a
Mhm,
more hands-on person.
mm,
So when I figured out that we're gonna study for 3 years, and only the last 10 weeks are going to be practical,
mm.
I told myself, I need to get out. I
Wow.
can't do this. I can't study about the chemistry of food and all
Wow,
that.
yeah.
I did not that was just not my thing. But now coming back to college after all these years,
Yeah.
there was about a 10 year period.
Mhm,
I would say the classes that I've taken so far in core, I wouldn't say aced, but I've done really well
mhm.
without studying that much.
Okay.
So the level is very different than I expected. Because I expected, and you got to think, when you read online about college, if you go to Reddit, anything,
Yeah.
you read about college, everything is just telling you exams are going to make you, it's either going to make you or break you.
Mhm.
And exams are torturing everyone's
Yeah,
final exams,
yep.
correction, are what basically tortures you. But I haven't experienced that yet, and that's why I have no idea what to expect from nursing. Because
Okay.
in nursing, it's all about, oh no, nursing is gonna, really test you out.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay, but I don't really know.
Yeah, okay, so let me explain this to you. I thought the same thing. I'm gonna go into nursing, and it's just gonna be so hard on me. I'm not gonna have any time, which I still kind of feel like I don't have time to do anything. But it's not as bad as I thought. Um, you go into orientation,
Okay.
okay, and it's this lecture hall. It's where you have your classes, and you sit down with all the new students, and you have some faculty. They'll come and talk to you, and
Is that an
um,
introduction?
kind of, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and basically they'll tell you you're gonna cry. You are going to you're gonna be so upset, and this is gonna be the hardest thing. I feel like they do it on purpose
Mm-hmm.
to kind of weed out the weak
Yeah.
in a way, to get people second guessing their choice, I guess. But
It can be for them to
and
set the expectations maybe too, so that
mhm,
if you're thinking going in that
it's gonna be a
this is
breeze.
gonna
Yeah,
be a
right.
breeze, it's like no, no,
No, yeah,
no,
and I
it's
can tell
not.
you it's not a breeze. It's
Okay.
it's not it's not right. At least for right now, I'm first year, first semester. It is not as hard as I imagined it being. I thought it was gonna be way worse, especially early on, which is still pretty early on. But it's compared to high school. I did not study at all. I
Okay.
was 4.0 all, throughout high school. I mean, high school, it was a piece of cake. It was easy. I paid attention in class. If I wrote notes, that was great. Fine. I didn't study. So my theory was as long as I paid attention in class, I was going to do okay.
Okay.
I come into college right out of high school. No. And so I think this is where our experiences may be a little different. I was so used to like not studying, I didn't know how to study. And so I think that first biology class, that's where I first struggled, and that was first semester. I think that's when I realized, man, I've got to figure out something.
Yes.
I've got to figure out something. So, but it's comparing nursing school, right now to when I was doing my core classes. I feel like it's still a little early on for me to say whether or not it's easier or harder. But I can say it's not as bad as what I thought. I still have to study, but I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Okay, so since it's fresh for you,
Okay.
talking about studying,
Mhm.
and you're pretty fresh in the sense of you have completed one semester of ASN. No,
No,
this is
my
your
first.
absolute
This
first.
is the
Okay,
first. Yeah.
okay. So since it's so fresh, did you do the T's or the?
Yeah, I did. It was the T's.
It was the T's.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've applied now, and I'm supposed to take the T's.
Okay.
So let's dive into that a little bit and study.
Okay.
So T's wise, would you mind sharing your score
I think it was right at a 70.
at a 70?
Right at a
Okay.
70.
Okay. So how much did you study for the T's, and what tips do you have? Let's start there.
Okay. I did not.
You did not study.
I did not.
Okay, so you just
And
went
that was
in.
I think that's kind of a reflection of my score. But okay, so what the information that's on the T's, it is not hard
Okay.
material. It is not hard material other than the science portion, which has some anatomy in it. So
Okay.
that was the main section I struggled on. It was the worst section I struggled on,
Okay.
or like section that I did. Everything else was pretty average, I guess, but science kicked my tail. But you got your basic reading and comprehension, reading a paragraph and what's this what is this paragraph about? What's the main idea? What's, stuff like that. You got reading, I think English, like vocabulary and just parts of sentences. It's stuff that you learn maybe in middle school that you haven't looked over in years, and then you forget about it.
Yes.
Math is pretty straightforward. I think I did the best on the math section. You can do everything on the little calculator they give you on the computer. I mean, that was easy, but it's just little things that you learn maybe later in middle school, early in high school that you thought, man, I'm not going to use this. Why do I need this?
Exactly.
And I think that's kind of the whole thing is just a basic comprehension test.
So what would you give as a tip for someone who's freaking out about the T's and don't know really what to expect? I mean, we know to a certain extent of what's coming because they tell you that you're going to do chemistry, anatomy, but what tips do you have for people who are going into it?
I can tell you what I wish I did.
Okay.
I wish I talked to somebody that took it before me.
Okay.
I did buy a book. It was like the 2024 T's, study guide book, and they give you 3 tests at the end of the book to do. But throughout the book, it goes by section, and I mean it's just a big review. I wish I would have looked through that more than once.
Okay, so you said that you hoped you had talked to someone.
Yeah.
What difference would that have made? I mean,
so what to expect? I didn't know what to expect, really.
Okay, so basically just to gather more information.
Yeah, like what things should I focus on? What things should I freshen up on?
Okay.
That type of thing.
Yeah. Well, fun fact, I just came from a T's workshop before this interview.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was sitting in the library. They had a T's workshop, and the girl who's actually hosting the workshop got a 94.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's
okay.
wild. She got 100% on math.
Yeah, my buddy Aiden, he the guy that was in the hallway with it, he made a 96. He made a 96 on it. I'm like, wow. Like holy crap, that's crazy.
Yeah, I have absolute no feelings toward the T's. I see it as it's just another step that needs to be done, and I think it's helping me a little bit because I don't like. I could tell you the one time I remember being so nervous
Mhm.
was when I was about to take my driving test.
And
That
you
is
yeah.
crazy. I could not sleep. I mean, I remember I was laying in bed and my father and my brother were talking. So my dad built up. He built beds that were hanging from the roof. Pretty
Oh,
cool.
wow.
So yeah, so I was up there, and then my brother and my brother and my father were talking downstairs. That's why I say downstairs because it's a whole level,
Yeah.
or at least what it feels like it. But he was taking me. My dad was taking me to the test,
Mhm.
and I looked down and I was like, "Let me chime in on your conversation because I can't sleep." And my father looks at me and he's like, "Why are you not asleep? You're supposed to have a test tomorrow." I was like, "Bro, I can't fall
Bro.
asleep." That was the that was how nervous
Yeah.
I was, but I can't feel this nervous for the teas. I haven't felt that nervous in a very long time, and I think because I have been put in
Mhm.
situations that are similar,
Yeah.
and I've let's use the term survived.
Mhm.
I've survived them,
Yeah.
and I've come to realize that you know what? It's not as bad as you think.
It's not.
Your life will not
It's not.
end.
And you'll find, you go through things and where I'm really bad at it. I'm an anxious person. I'm not
Okay.
gonna lie to you. I'm an anxious person. But I realized, man, I'm anxious for nothing.
Man, you're anxious, but
I'm
you're doing this
like,
interview super nicely. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I guess something in the past years in me has changed. This used to be way outside of my comfort
Okay.
zone. I used to be a real introverted,
Uh
stay
huh.
to myself. I don't get out the house. I'm kind of still the same way, but I can go out and talk to people and be more social.
That's good.
But back to what we're saying, yeah. I was nervous too about the teas. Well, I say too. I was nervous about the teas. And then I realized, it wasn't that bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was. And that's what I do. I kind of hype things up in my brain, like worrying, oh my gosh, this is going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible. What am I going to do? I can't sleep. Um,
That's
but,
one.
but, yeah, I mean, just making sure you review prior to taking it. Um, just a little bit at a time. Quizlet. Quizlet has some, practice questions. There's stuff online you can find.
Yeah, and she gave me a tip. Actually, the girl who's hosting it
Mhm.
gave me a tip, and she said, "Focus on the things that you're already somewhat strong at, and
Mhm.
don't focus on the things that you're weak at."
Mm.
So if you're weak and you try to catch up to so let's say you're not good at math.
Okay.
That's not your strong. That's not your strong suit.
Mhm.
Don't focus on trying to memorize how to solve all the math equations because
Mhm.
that's going to take your time.
Yeah.
Instead, polish up your skills of what you're already good or decent at
Sure.
so that you could ace those parts and have less focus on the parts that you're not good. And
Yeah.
remember, I mean, it's a tease test. You do have four options. So you still have a 25% of
Oh
hitting
yeah.
it correctly.
Yeah. If you guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of luck, but also studying in a smart way
Mhm.
for the teas.
Yeah. And you gotta find your way. And you will. You'll find your way of studying. And um, this is I can say for the nursing program, this is the most I've studied. This is I studied before for my core classes. I still trying to figure out how to do it, but I think how I'm doing it now, and I'm still trying to talk to other people, see how they're doing it to maybe try out that
Yeah.
technique. Um, but yeah, I mean, you'll find your way.
I have to say when I received the email about the teas that said, "Hey, it's time." I
Mm.
think it kind of got like a reality check where
Hmm.
come on. Come on.
Like
It's
this,
it's it's
it's time
finally
to
happening. Let's
lock
go.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, lock in. Um just prepare yourself. It
It will be
things are
okay.
starting right now.
Yeah.
This is
Yep.
what you've been preparing
Yeah.
for. You're going all in. So
Hmm.
I felt more happiness and excitement than anxiety because I'm telling you the core years
Hmm.
I think have challenged me more than the nursing will because I love
Yeah.
a good challenge. I love
Yeah. For
nursing.
sure.
I mean, I love everything that I've heard about nursing because I know it's going to challenge me.
Hmm.
And I like a challenge, but I also know based on I talk to a lot of people. So based on the people that are applying,
Yeah.
I know that we have a very, very solid group. If we
Mhm.
if we make it,
Oh yeah.
if all of us make it, I know we have a very solid group
Mm-hmm.
entering the nursing program. And I think that is something people underestimate. Finding a good group, but finding people who actually want this. Because
Mm-hmm.
even if you're not at a level where you want to be, this is what we talked about a little bit earlier,
Mm.
they will rise you to their level because you can't keep hanging out with them
Yeah.
and being in their group
Yeah.
and staying low because they're either going to let you go
Mhm.
or they're going to bring you up to their level.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important because we are all different. We all
Mhm.
come from different perspectives, different
Definitely.
backgrounds, and all of that combined together is going to be awesome. At least that's my guess.
No,
You're
yeah.
in the nursing.
Yeah,
I mean,
so it's
you have
true.
more first hands-on experience.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said earlier, I mean, we kind of hold each other accountable. There's this one girl in our group. It's us 3 guys, 3 girls.
Let me ask you.
Okay.
Kenley's in your class, right? There's a girl named Kenley.
Yeah.
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 Kenley was in my microbio class.
Okay.
Yeah, last
So
semester.
it's funny, she's in my group.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so fun. I'm sending this to you, Kenley. I am sending this to you. No, but it's super fun because she saw someone who had the same name as me. And she's like, are you taking ASN? I said, no. I'm BSN, so I haven't finished all my classes yet.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my god, we have orientations. It's gonna be, I'm nervous. I said, you don't need to be nervous.
Yeah.
But you starting out in the nursing program,
Mm.
what would you say is good preparation? Because I've talked to some BSN students,
Yeah.
and they've given me a list, and I'm trying to compile a list, and I'm doing my absolute best to have a standard list, hopefully for everyone, not
Mhm.
just Gordon, but every single person
Mhm.
who is getting into nursing to what to expect, what to have. What is it called? Stethoscope?
Yeah, stethoscope.
Yeah, stethoscope. But my mind's all gone. But yeah, a stethoscope, and then you got a pulse reader.
Pulse. So yeah, you have like a pulse ox reader.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to compile a list to put it on, and there's just like a travel checklist, like have this,
Kind
have
of
this,
like
have this.
what you need for the program, basically. or
Exactly.
What,
So what would you say is good to have that maybe you didn't know was good to have, if it makes sense? It's a brain scratcher because
it
I'm
is a
putting you
brain
I'm putting you on the spot right here.
You are.
But take your time.
I mean, I kind of had an idea. Because my sister, she's basically, I'm following her footsteps. So she kind of told me what to expect. Have good shoes. First off, good shoes is
That's a good one.
that is a game changer. Because you don't want to be rocking up in some Vans or something, and then you're standing, especially in lab, and your feet hurt or
Yep.
your knees hurt or something. I mean, good shoes.
Yeah, I used to work at an amusement park.
Oh
Good
yeah,
shoes.
so
Good-
you know,
good, good
walking
shoes.
all day.
No,
yeah.
bro, I used to work around in Converse, and I was like, "Oof, this is gonna be good."
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you start questioning your life choices, and you start questioning your life in general. And you said, are Converse really worth, looking classy for working
Right.
12 hours?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But
what
else?
But it's good to talk to people before, especially people that are already in the program or that have went through the program, because those are the most experienced people to, to give you that little pieces of information of what you need to expect, what you should do, and little tips here and there.
Yeah.
Um,
So I was thinking about, and the name actually, the name that the nursing experience that I told you
Mhm.
is a little bit. I would say it is. What is the word I'm looking for? Inspired.
Mhm.
It was inspired by the Joe Rogan experience. He's a
Okay.
very good podcaster,
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
lot of people know who he is. And,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm not gonna lie to you, I do not watch his podcast. I watch some clips.
I see clips on TikTok
Yeah,
and Instagram.
And
yeah.
then some people I watch. If there's an interesting person, I would actually watch that episode or an interesting topic.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it. The more I was thinking, I said, well, the nursing experience is pretty good
Mhm.
because that covers everything. I mean, you
Mhm.
have pre-nursing,
Yep.
me.
Yep.
and everyone in my position, and then you have you who are new,
Mhm.
and then you have people who are close to graduating, and then
Yeah.
you have actual graduates,
Oh
and
yeah.
then you have professors.
Yeah.
So hopefully, the plan is to bring in people from all perspectives so that we could just
Okay.
share and then just go at it and prepare people
Yeah.
for nursing and give as many tips because you have a perspective, and
Yeah.
I can only guess that if we had two more people,
Mhm.
they would have different
And
perspectives.
they'd be able to chime in and yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They would chime in, but also give their perspective.
Mhm.
And maybe I would be sitting here and say, well, I had no idea. I didn't even think about it that way.
Yeah.
And this is something that I've tried to tell a lot of people ever since I started college.
Yeah.
Talk to people.
100%.
Talk to people. Do
Mhm.
not go through college and form your little clique or 2 or 3 people and that's it. I said you need to talk to as many people as you can. You need to network because
Yeah.
it's extremely important. Because of my networking, I think that's why I see my core years as a breeze. Because
Mhm.
I talk to so many people and ask them which professors have you taken?
Yeah.
What's good about them? What's less good? And then I could, and with the help of Rate My Professor, I was able to actually see, okay, this professor, I'm going to be able to do real well
Mm.
because I feel that I can ask my questions. I ask a lot of questions in class. Ask anyone,
Good.
but I ask a lot of questions. That mostly for me, but also for other people because I know a lot of people sit in class and they're very scared to ask that
But
question.
they probably are wondering the same thing that you're wondering and
Exactly.
gonna ask. Yeah.
Exactly. And the fun part is that once I do that, there are some people who say you're very annoying. And for them, I say thank you,
Mhm.
because I really don't care if you think I'm annoying. But I've also had people come up and walk up to me and say, thank you for asking those questions.
Yep.
You're making the class more interesting, but you're also making her, the professor, talk about things
Mhm.
that helps me understand in a better way.
Yeah.
So for that, you're always going to have people who are going to say against, be against of what you're doing.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I don't really care. And I think a lot of people at the college and any college, they don't network, they don't do that kind of prep.
Mm.
And that's why it is a little bit harder for them. But have you experienced anything like this pre nursing and in nursing? So now, I mean, when you first got in, because did you know anyone?
So I mean, I graduated from
Yeah.
Lamar County, so I'm from the area. As far as going out and talking to new people, rare,
Okay.
rare, and but the thing is, if I didn't know anybody in my class, I would find somebody, and I would talk to them and make sure I know them.
Okay.
And that's I think doing that, and especially finding somebody that is in
Mm-hmm.
our case going into the same major as you. That is good to have because then you can kind of be a battle buddy in a sense.
Okay.
You can kind of go through it together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then when you get in the nursing, in the nursing program and the classes, I think it's probably the most important thing I did was find that group of people um, to study with, to talk to do everything with. Just you don't want to do it alone,
Yeah.
and you kind of keep each other in check and give little updates and stuff. And like we have a group me of our whole class. Hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So we kind of broke away and we have our own group chat that
Okay.
we text and stuff and much better.
That's actually what I was gonna do. I was gonna ask you because you said that you are 6 people now.
Yeah, there's 6 of us.
Okay. So how did you guys how did the 6 of you like how did you pick each other out of a class of
Okay.
about 50? How
Okay.
did you narrow it down?
So yeah, so I'll kind of go through all of us, and I'll say their names. Really don't mind. Um, so my buddy Aiden, I had our biology class together, our second biology class,
Okay.
and we kind of sat like in the row next to each other. But he was kind of up towards the front of the class. I was kind of towards the back, but we knew each other and we talked to each other every now and then. But we weren't like best bud status, we just acquaintances, if you will. Um, And then so I checked when they sent out the email, hey, congratulations, you made it into the nursing program. And it has a list of all the people, emails. And I saw his name. I was like, oh man, I'm going to text him on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Hey, you're going to be at orientation. All right, I'm going to find you. I'm going to sit next to you because you're the first name that stuck out. I know you. We had classes together. So orientation, we did that.
That's one. So now you're
So
two
two-
people.
two
Now you
man.
have four. You have
Four more to
people
go.
left. Okay.
So, and then we have Jessica. I work at the hospital with her.
okay.
I actually went to high school with her. She's a year or two older than I am. But she sat somewhere else. But I think I saw her at work or something. It's like, hey, you're in the program. She's like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. I have my buddy Aiden and whatever. So we started talking, and then she knew another girl named Chelsea that also works at the hospital. But
Okay.
she's older. I don't know, how old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay, so she's about your age.
Okay.
And she works at the hospital as well, and so they actually work on the same floor together. So they knew each other, and so she kind of like, hey, come with us in a sense. And so
So that's four.
that's four of
Side
us.
note before you continue, I am saying nursing is the first time I will ever go into a program and actually say I'm not the oldest person in the class.
Oh,
All right. I was just
yes.
saying with a BSN, I've talked to some BSN students. They're like, I have 3 kids. I was like, praise the Lord, because
Yes.
I don't care. I think it's funny that people call me old man or old.
Yeah.
But it's like, trust me, if I'm 30, I haven't even lived a third of my year if I live to be to 100. And
Yeah.
that's what we were talking about, different perspectives. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I haven't even lived a third of my year, but it's going to be super fun
Oh,
because the older you get, the more experiences you have. And I think it turns to wisdom. And it's super good to have older people in the class. But continue. So now we're at 4.
We're
So
at
you have 2
4.
from the hospital
So and then
and 2
we got,
biology.
and then we have Kinley.
Yes.
So I went to school with her in elementary school, and then I moved.
Okay.
So I kind of knew her, but kind of didn't. I recognized her, but I didn't talk to her.
Okay.
Jessica knew her,
Okay.
and so and actually she used to work in the pharmacy at the hospital that we work at, but
Okay.
she doesn't anymore. But I think Jessica like knew her more than I did, or something like that, and so that's 5. And then my boy James. James is in his mid-30s. So,
Okay.
and he's got 2 kids.
Okay.
He's got 2 kids.
There you
and
go.
He was sitting. We all kind of came together. We sat in the back of the class. James was kind of more towards the front, but directly in front of us.
Okay.
And it was one day in lab. We had to do something. I think it was we were doing our physical assessment, and so we had to get behind a curtain, and it was another guy that came in, and it was basically all of us guys. And James came in, and we started talking, and we kind of grew that bond. Me and Aiden grew that bond with him, and so we kind of adopted him in, and so now there's 6 of us. And,
Yeah. Come here. Come
and
here.
yep, and so we, yeah, I mean, we stuck together.
That's pretty. That's
So
pretty neat.
It's good to have that group of people to kind of suffer with.
Yes.
I guess.
Yes.
Be
I mean-
happy with, be sad with. It's nice to know that you're not alone.
What was it? I think it was for Hyde's class.
Oh, I had
I think
her. Yep.
I think it was for her class. It was biology. We actually had what did we had a study group, or it was for no, scratch that. It was for anatomy.
Okay.
I remember we created this biggest text group ever.
Oh wow.
And we just like, hey yo, we got anatomy, we're all in the same boat, it's sinking. We all were freaking out, all right? I'm not going to say who the professor is, but we were
Okay.
all freaking out, bro, because this was the toughest thing, and the pace was so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And the professor is like, I'm trying to prepare you for nursing. I'm like, you know what? If a bus hits me tomorrow, I don't need to be prepared,
Yeah.
but we created that group,
Yeah.
and it was wild.
Mm-hmm.
First, what happened is everyone started texting,
Mm-hmm.
but that died off after a day or 2.
Yeah.
And then it's super funny to talk about this, after it's happened.
Yeah.
Because it's like the filter just applied itself and everyone just kept dropping off. And you notice that some people do things by themselves better and some people need a group. But because of that, we had a group that was working, and we're still. I mean, most of us are still in the same group, and hopefully, if we all make it to nursing, we're gonna be the same group. So we're gonna be 3 people, and maybe add some more.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, groups are good to have, but I also think that in groups, and I don't know how it is in your group, but in groups, it is super important to hold yourselves accountable and catch people on their crap.
Yep.
So if someone is slacking or something, you need to speak up. Because I'm
Mhm.
assuming we do that now, but
Mhm.
I'm assuming in nursing it's gonna be
You have to.
like it's more serious. Like
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, I mean, we do a pretty good job at it. Chelsea, she's kind of the mother hen of the group.
Okay.
She's real like strict on it, like making sure. Like I feel like she would cut you.
Okay.
She's the person that you don't want to mess with her, but at the same, I mean, she can, she's not like a Grinch.
No,
But
no,
no,
no.
but she holds us accountable, and
she holds
she's
you-
good at it.
Okay,
She's good at
that's good. All right, so let's do this. We've been going on for a while now. So let's do this. We're going to do 3 tips you have for people who are trying to who are either on the way to nursing or
Okay.
have applied for nursing. What tips? It can be anything. It doesn't have to be like
Okay.
study for your T's.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything that you feel can help. So give us
Okay.
3 things.
I would say definitely find that, if you're like me, find that study method. Figure out how studying best works for you. Are you visual, or can you write everything down and that be okay? Or do you have to listen to something, And I can say there's a thing on Google. It's called it's called Notebook LM.
I've heard about it.
Yes.
I've heard about
Dude,
it.
it is great.
Yes.
It is so good.
Yes.
And you can turn it into a little podcast.
Yes.
And like you can upload your PowerPoints into it and basically let it do its thing, and it'll make between 20 and 30 minutes, depending on how long and how many material how much material you put in. Create a little podcast, like 2 people talking, and it sounds pretty darn real. Like it sounds good, and that helps me. That
That-
helps me. But yeah, like I said, find your study method, because that will definitely help you in nursing.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 more.
2 more.
Can you whip something out? I mean, it's-
and I feel like we've kind of touched bases, but like
Yeah.
find that group of people that you can communicate with, because not everybody studies the same, not everybody learns the same. So if it'd be kind of boring if you got a group of people who only learn from kind of like how I do,
yeah.
Whereas if you have a group of different people who learn certain different ways, they may pick up on things that you didn't when you were studying or when you're in class, or and so having that group kind of balances everything together, and you can share ideas off of each other.
All right. So let's. No, I'm gonna actually change that. But we're gonna play a little game
Okay.
to not be so serious now.
Okay.
I like to call this game overrated, underrated.
Okay.
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 So I'm gonna tell you something, and then you can tell me if it's overrated or underrated.
Okay.
So if I tell you, for example, Crocs,
Crocs,
you're gonna tell me overrated or underrated.
overrated.
All right. Perfect. Okay, you got it. Okay, so let's go. This is gonna be fun.
All
I'm
right.
gonna start with a big one. Chick-fil-A.
Oh, dude, I mean, I don't think it's overrated, but it's not underrated. It's not hated.
So properly rated.
Dude, that's properly rated.
Man,
Chick-fil-A's
I thought
great.
we could be friends here.
Oh no.
No, man, I think it's the most overrated thing.
Do you think so?
Yeah, yeah. The pricing for that thing,
Okay,
I'm like, I could
the
have a
price
buffet.
sucks.
Yeah,
the price sucks.
Yeah, I mean it's good food, but it's a little bit too expensive for what it is.
Okay, I agree.
right.
But it's great food. I love
Yeah,
it.
Taco Bell. I mean,
Oh, dude, don't even get me started on
Hey,
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, good price.
Taco
good
Bell is,
food.
to me, it's above Chick-fil-A.
Okay,
I think Taco Bell is underrated. Taco Bell
friendship is restored. Yes,
There we go.
can continue
Awesome.
on that one. Okay, so, oh my God, I had a list in my mind, but what's their name of that candy that looks like small guys? Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, those are pretty good, pretty rated, pretty what'd you say?
Properly
properly
rated?
rated. Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
What?
Okay, that's underrated, right? there.
underrated?
Yes, bro. Sour Patch
Really?
Kids is fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about.
If they, I like the blue guys. I get the packets that only have the
Yes.
blue.
Okay,
So I don't
All
really
right.
care for any other flavors.
Starbucks.
Starbucks overrated.
That's a good one. That
Yeah.
is a very good one.
Overrated.
Have you had food here
No.
on campus?
No.
No?
No.
All right, buffets.
Buffets. Dude, underrated.
My man, you know exactly what we're talking about here.
Dude,
okay.
I love food. I
How-
love food. I could talk about food
Perfect.
all day.
All right. So okay. So here's another one then.
Okay.
This is I've had, I wouldn't say clashes, but this is interesting.
Okay.
Buckners.
Buckners. I've been once.
Oh, hey, that's enough.
I've been once, and it was years ago. But the time I remembered, it was great. It was great.
So what would you say?
I'd say it's underrated.
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 Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, I do have a little bit of a gripe with their pricing
Okay.
because it's a little bit expensive.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we first got here 3 years ago, almost 4, it was, I think, $17.95, and then I think
Okay.
it went up to 22,
Oh man.
and then it dropped to 20 or something, or not, like 21.
Okay.
And it's fried chicken, southern food, so it's not that wow, but they get their chicken
Oh, it's good.
perfectly cooked
Oh, it's
all
great.
the time. And apple cobbler, shout out to Buckners, bro. I have to say that is one of my favorite places. I love celebrating there. So if
Yeah.
I do well on a test or something that
Kind of a
I've
little
yeah,
treat to yourself.
exactly, I
There you
go,
go.
I go there. But people are like, no, it's not that good. And then I was like, yeah, we can't be friends.
You're crazy. Yeah.
We can't be friends. I'm like, you can tell me the Buckners. All
Yeah.
right, so leave the people that have been listening to this with one thing.
With one thing, I still have one more tip.
Yeah, you
One
could
more
use that
tip.
as a. I
Let's
didn't
see.
accidentally. I cut you off there
It's
because I was
okay.
like, you know what? Let's just use that. So
Yeah.
if you could leave them with one
one
thing.
thing,
Yes.
it will be okay.
It
It
will-
will be okay. No, you're going to fail through going through school. You're gonna do bad. You're gonna do great. I had my fair share of both, and I thought the world was going to end when I got a bad grade on a test or a quiz or. But I learned looking back at it now, did it really matter that much? Was it really that important? I still made it through. You just don't beat yourself up over the little things. If that makes sense.
Oh, I'm gonna start a tradition. I know that a lot of podcast people have a tradition,
Okay.
and the tradition I want to start is I was watching a movie with let's just call her my grandma because she basically is.
Okay.
And we watched the movie Pay It Forward.
Okay.
It's one of those cliche movies,
Mhm.
feel good movies.
Yeah.
Old. But if we were gonna say, what are you going to do after this podcast? Now, beside this podcast, because you've been helping a lot of people by sharing your insights,
Mhm.
what are you going to do to pay it forward? And what do you want the next person to do?
To pay it, as in,
Or let's do it this way. Say something, like give a command to the next person who's going to be on the podcast, or the next few people who are going to be on the podcast, a way that you want them to pay it forward.
oh man,
This is a brain kicker for real. I know that I just put you on the spot more than I put you on the other times, but
I am on the spot right now.
yeah,
This is the hot seat.
because we want to try to spread positivity, optimism, and
Yeah, well-
something do something good. I mean, it could be anything you can think about.
I mean, be honest. Be honest. Don't sugarcoat. I hate sugarcoat.
Okay.
I hate it. If you're gonna tell me something, tell me it how it is. Hurt my feelings or not, And I kind of do the same thing talking to people. Like, I'm not gonna try to beat around the bush.
Okay.
So if you're gonna say something, give advice or something.
So speak more
Yeah.
truthfully.
Yeah, be truthful. Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. So shout out again to Justin, who actually could make it today. And like I said, for all the other people who wasn't able to come today, it's fine.
Life happens.
We hope to have you again soon. But again, shout out to Justin for making this happen. So with that being said, thank you so much, and we will probably call you back after the semester to see how your first semester
Yeah,
has
how
been
it went,
going
yeah.
and what your mental state is
Yeah.
after this first semester. So
All right.
thank you so much.
Thank you.